はい、ここはなんかね、ミュージアムということで、ここから始まったみたいなこと言われてたので、ここが一番最初の事務所なんでしょうかね。うわー、すごい。ああ、だからここは昔の事務所ってことですよね。事務所というか会社の。
会社が基地みたい。あと、ここの会社だったんですけど、あと倉庫だった。
すごいですね、これ。いやー、見てくださいよ、これ。わー、すごい。
So definitely not food safe products.
すごい。もう、これ凄まじい価値がつきそうなことを、わー、マルコニック。
If you want, I can explain you a bit of things. Maybe it's interesting also for videos, for content for the Japanese market. What we have here in the front are those machines are actually the name given for the coffee, for espresso, because the kind of preparation was quite fast, and from the name espresso was created. This is why a lot of companies from historic companies used to have images like making a coffee out of a drain, like this is known by Vittoriano Ino, or some racing cars like Bezera. So that's the way it went. What is actually the preparation process? You engage a portafilter, you open a valve. The boiler temperature on these machines have been quite high, so that means 1.2 bar, and it was one single boiler machine. Like you open it, the coffee which came out was quite burnt. There was no high pressure, no 9 bar, like it was just the boiler pressure who pulled through the coffee, the water, and the coffee was like similar to filter coffee, I would say. But it was not as good as we nowadays know. So that was actually the start. And the first real espresso machines, I will show you when we go further, was actually a model by Gaggia, a lever machine, which was the first spring-loaded lever. The first spring-loaded lever machine, which actually use the spring to make a pressure above 9 bar and to create this kind of cream on top. And this is why on Gaggia machines you find the writing on the backside, it's cream coffee naturally, function without steam. And what does it mean? It's creamy coffee without steam and showing the cafetiera, like the Bialetti in red and the lever in blue. So at this time, this was in the 90s, 40s, 36 something, where Akira Gaggia invented this kind of hoop lever, and nobody at this time knew what is going on the coffee in the coffee industry, and this is why he put it on the backside to explain how the system works, what is different to the existing products, and how the cream coffee was created, the first espresso. And then, of course, other manufacturers took over in license either the lever or try to find a way to make their own lever machines. And when we look at the Gaggia machines, this is a very nice machine which has a nickname as a sardine can, because if you look at the shape of the machine, it looks like actually like a can of a sardine, and the cups have been stored inside from the other side here, and most of the machines at this time had hot steam for additional heating the cups. Like you open valve, like steam was created to heat additionally up the cups. So it's a very nice stuff, yeah. And when we go to some machines which we have here, that's the Model Internazionale, also a Gaggia machine, and it's actually from the side, it looks like a lying rocket, like it's the shape is like a rocket. Yeah. And it was produced in the year when the Russians started their a project with the Sputnik. That's why the nickname actually is Sputnik of this model. So what else we have here? Here you see the Victoria Arduino, a very old machine from 1910, I would say, 1920. So it's a 4-group machine with the same system. You pull up the lever and hot water is just pulling through the coffee, and it's a bit burning actually. Then we have a very unique machine from the company Caramali. This was actually it's a unique piece which has been shown on the Mailander Scala. Like Milan or Scala it's one very, very famous place in Milan, and it was produced for this theater only once. Yes. And also Mazda in the beginning was doing something else. You see, it's a toaster made by Mazda. Here we have a very nice machine from the company La San Marco, and the nickname of the machine is called Lollobrigida, like the actor, the Italian actor, because of the shape, the roundness of the product. What makes the machine very unique is actually the lever, which is guided by 2 cylinders to make to not paying any license on Gaggia for the group lever. And during the coffee extraction, the portafilter is moving upwards during the coffee extraction, upwards or downwards. Yeah. So now we have the Faema products. Here is one domestic machine, and this is actually the first units of my father when we started working with Gaggia, and it's also quite historic with machine nowadays because this goes back to the 80s. Faema was one of the biggest manufacturers of coffee machines. You can see from the photo here, the production plant was massively. And there is also a quite nice story around, which goes around the history of Faema. Because Faema actually, when they started, they did not produce any kind of coffee machines. That means even in the writing of the letters of Faema, there is no wording of coffee. It's actually factory, appliance, electro, mechanical parts. So that means there is nothing wording of coffee, and this is quite interesting because they came to the coffee business because of Gaggia, because Gaggia did not have his own production, and Gaggia went to Faema, and the first Gaggia machines have been produced by Faema. And Faema noticed that this is a very, good business, and this is why Faema started making their own products. And you find a very similarity in the shape, in the look. But after that, Faema really made a lot of innovations and came one of the leaders in a certain period of time on this market. This is why the E61 has become so famous, because it was also very revolutionary, making coffee instead pulling a lever where you need a lot of force, and it's also dangerous. Like when you pull, this piece can go backwards when you don't engage it correctly, and it's not easy to prepare coffee. And with the usage of a rotary pump, shown actually on the photo here behind, I'm not sure if they have been the first one. Like here you see the rotary pump from Brocon, but I know that they have been one of the first. So I'm not sure if they was the first, but for sure one of a couple first manufactured this time. And with the lever, with the spring levers, which you have seen in our other place, like in other facilities, it was quite revolutionary and making the coffee process much easier. And this is why they became such famous. Also, there is a kind of a small story around why there is an E for the E61. Like, of course, E61 is meaning the year of when the group head was invented. but the E actually was kind of an ellipse. Like when the first machine was ready and they put the machine on the campus, there was a kind of ellipse. The sun was close by the moon, and this is why called E for the ellipse. So, and they were also from the namings of the products. They looked after the planets like Urania, Marta, Neptune. Like they looked after the sky namings, and this is also quite nice, I would say. Even if you think about Modbar, you know Modbar? Modbar is Lama Tsoko. If you think that Modbar is evolutionary, like you see, this is a product from La San Marco, which had also the idea of being a Modbar. So everything has been already on the market. There is nothing new. It's only there was the wrong time for this kind of products. And yes, and also here, if you want to see this kind of product, it's also I always show the customers when I go to the museum. It's a portafilter which is engaging differently, and you put it up like this, and then it holds actually on the crew pad. You engage it like this, and if you think of nowadays a product, there is one machine from La Marzocco which has an engagement straight on, but the concept is actually something which has been only developed further from this kind of things. So there is a lot of, history. This is actually where I take a lot of ideas from. Like if you think about the Mechanica Slim, the Vapore Aqua Science, like those are actually with the red symbols. We have some machines where we are getting inspired from that. Yes.
はい、今ね説明していただきましたが、それ以外にもものすごい数のやばいですよねこれ。よくこんだけ集めたなっていう。でこれを本当に元にインスピレーションを得てエスプレッソマシン作りをされてるってことですよね。いやーすごいっすよ本当に。エスプレッソマシンオタクですよね。もうここまで来るとコレクターの領域です。すごい。もうどれも価値あるものばかりですよね。はい、ということでね、ちょっと全部はねまだもっとしっかり映したかったんですけども、これからまた一旦ホテルに戻らないといけないので、この辺りでというかあれだけのコレクション数は多分世界最大ですよね。だと思います。世界で最大のコレクターだと思います。いや本当に、めっちゃ興奮しました。私は本当あそこに一日閉じ込められても平気です。はい、で今帰り道の、車なんですけど、すごいねこの見えますかねこの街並みドイツの。はい、では今からECMの皆さんとお食事なんですけども、ご覧くださいこのお城、素晴らしいですね。とても綺麗です。この、旧市街とね、先ほどECMの方もおっしゃってたんですけども、今なんて言いますかこれ本当にドイツの独特の建築物といいますか、そういったもうところが広がっています。すごいいい街ですね。これは何でしょう。すごい建築物が、そしてこの皆さんここで食事を取られてます。
中庭みたいな。
いやーすごいですね。
すごい楽しいです。
はい、少しね天気がさっき雨降ってて、止んでっていうところなので少し曇り空ですが、はい、美しい街並みですので、せっかくですのでちょっとこのままカメラを回し続けようと思います。いや素晴らしいですよ本当に。 ね、昨日まではスペインのバルセロナにいたわけなんですけども、またバルセロナとは全然違った、なんと言いますか、また全然表現が難しいですけど、やっぱりバルセロナはね、都市でしたけども、こちらはこうちょっとね田舎のこうね歴史的建造物がある町と言いますか、非常になんか日本だと表現しづらいような、場所な気がしますね。ちなみに、こちらはですね、さっき見えてたこの建物は、教会だそうですね。プロテスタントって言ってましたかねの、その宗派の教会ということです。でこの通りをまっすぐ行くと多分結構有名な、観光名所となる橋、アルテブリュッケという、古い橋って書いてますね、 Google マップによると。
輸入する授業だ。
That was in the 80s.
So the customer worked in the
今、
business.
ECM の社長さんとお食事をお話を聞いてるんですけども、もともとは
Frederick there.
ハイデルベルクの家電屋さんだったそうです。はい、今ご飯を食べていた場所なんですけど、ここも ECM のバリスタっていうモデル、ちょっと弊社は使ってないんですけども、ECM のマシンが見事に入っておりました。Dankeschön。今ですね、食事を終えて外に出てきて、時刻はまだ9時19分。まだというかね、9時19分で外まだまだ明るいです。でこれが、ですね、先ほどちょっと食事前にも見せたかもしれませんが、アルテブリュッケですね。古い橋って書いてますけども、アルテブリュッケ、わあ素晴らしいですね。これ、映像越しに皆さんに伝わるでしょうか。この何とも言えないこの、そして風が気持ちいい、この緑と空の色と、とても素晴らしいです。はい、もうこれの広場ですね。見てください。サッカーの試合を見ながら、みんなビールを飲んでます。いやー、なんかいいですね、この感じ。めちゃくちゃいい。向こうでもサッカー見てますね。やっぱりサッカーの国というか、はい、ということで、ですね、今日も無事に一日が、終わりまして、で、今ですね、ECM 社の、社長のマイケルさんの、ECM の、ね、方たちと一緒に、食事を、していたんですけども、非常にまたそこでもね、面白い話を聞くことができました。で、私もね、これ前から気になってたのが、ちょっとね、多分 ECM 社の本社を回っている途中でも少し言ってるかもしれないんですけども、ECM と、あと、ロケット社ミラノですね。やっぱりあれってもともと関わりがあるっていうのがね、今食事をしている中で直接聞くことが、できたんですけども、いや、私もですね、この会社にね、第一人会社に入ってから ECM とロケットをずっとね、扱ってて、なんかつながりがあるらしいって噂は聞いてるけど、誰もその真実をね、知らなかったので、今日ようやくそれが聞けて、もうね、なんかすごいちょっと感動してます。そういうことだったのみたいな。はい。いや、なんかね、もうその今興奮で、それだけで動画を回してます。で、明日はですね、このエリアのカフェとか、あとはね、観光名所みたいなところも回れたらと思ってます。で、ECM 社の方も今日ね、一緒にお食事を、食事をさせていただいてた、方が非常に、スペシャリティコーヒーがお好きで、基本的にはね、平日はエスプレッソマシンでエスプレッソを入れるけど、週末はプアオーバーで、ドリップをスペシャリティコーヒーをするんだって言われてたんですけど、彼がですね、このエリアで一番美味しい、もうここは絶対に行った方がいいっていうスペシャリティコーヒーのお店を教えてくださいましたので、明日はそこを、巡っていこうと思います。